What's up, guys? Taku here, and today I'm here with a Dark Irregulars deck profile. So this is going to be a Master of Fifth Element build. This build is probably one of my favorite Dark Irregular builds. I've been playing with both Amon and this build. I'll show you guys my Amon build probably later. But so I'm really playing with this deck because you guys know me. I like to play around with cards that aren't played with very frequently. Well, sort of. So yeah, this build is definitely overlooked because people usually, if they're playing Dark Irregulars, they're probably going to play the Amon build, and other cards from this set just overshadow this deck. For example, Raging Form and Nebula Lord, those cards are definitely overshadowing Mr. Fifth Element here. So let's just start off with the deck. Starting Vanguard, I use Greedy Hand. He's a very consistent Vanguard, starting Vanguard. His skill is he's a Pioneer, or Forerunner, whatever you want to call it. And his skill is Counterblast 1, move this card into the soul. Search your deck for a grade 2 or lower Dark Irregular card and put it into your soul. So I'll tell you what you mainly search for later, but it's pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, so he's a really good starting Vanguard. This deck isn't too Counterblast heavy, so there's lots of extra stuff that you could play and whatnot. But yeah. Next, I run for Master of the Fifth Element. Yeah, so this card is pretty good. I'm pretty sure if he's an 11k Vanguard, people will play this card a lot more, but he's 10, and I guess that's to balance him out since he is pretty good. For those who don't know his skill, it's Limit Break 4. When you have 10 or more Dark Irregulars in Soul, all your Dark Irregulars gets plus 3k. So he's a global plus 3k to all your Dark Irregular units. So he's kind of like a Sephiroth Celestial Angel guy ability where they give your field 3k. Except his condition is that you need 10 soul, which is not hard to get at all with this deck. His second skill is when this card's attack hits the Vanguard, you may Counterblast 1 to Soul Charge 3. So not very often you get to use this card unless you didn't Break Ride, because once you Break Ride, you and your opponent will probably both be at 4 damage, so you're probably not going to get his effect off. But in events that you do, good job, because Soul Shining 3 is quite a big deal, so yeah. Next I run for King of Masks. He's the Break Ride for the deck, and he has an amazing effect. Okay, so he is the Break Ride of the deck, and his skill is when a Dark Irregular unit rides on top of this unit, it gets plus 10k, and then you can choose 3 Dark Irregular rear guards, and it gets the following effect. This card gets 1000 power for every Dark Irregular in your soul. So basically, it turns 3 of your rear guards into mini Amons, which is very scary because your rear guards will be hitting for massive numbers, which I think is kind of silly, but yeah, it's a really good card. So yeah, next effect is when this card attacks the Vanguard, you can Soul Charge 1, and then it gets plus 1k. So another way to build soul with the deck. It's very nice to Break Ride over Break Ride because you force a lot of guard out of your opponent's hand if they're at 4 damage. So 5 damage, I mean, and if you Break Ride combo them, you're gonna add even more power to your rear guards. So this deck is really good at hitting big numbers with your rear guards. All right, so next I run 3 Emblem Blaster. He's the main grade 2 ride target, but yeah, his skill is when this card attacks hits the Vanguard. I think yes, Vanguard. Or actually, when this card yeah, when this card hits Vanguard, you may counterblast 1 to Soul Charge 3. So yeah, pretty good at Soul Charging. You mainly want to ride this as grade 2, because usually when your opponent's at 5 damage, you probably won't get off. 4 damage, if he is really pumped up, then probably your opponent's gonna let it through. But by then you probably have enough soul already anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. Next I run 4th Flirty Succubus, Flirty Succubus. Her effect is when this card's called in the Vanguard or Rearguard circle, you may Soul Charge 1. So pretty self-explanatory. You don't actually have to run it. I just run it because she's pretty hot. So yeah, and she does help you get soul. So yeah, of course, she actually works really well with Doreen, but I don't actually run Doreen in this deck because I don't think she's too consistent. But yeah, that's just personal preference. Next I run 4 of the grade 2 Amon. His effect is when you have 6 or more Dark Irregulars in Soul, this card gets plus 3000. So he's an 11k attacker when you have 3 or more Soul. This deck does not have a 12k attacker, so this guy will have to do. He does his job fine, so it's no problem. Alright. Next I run 4 of the Mini Amon, the grade 1 Amon. He's a 9k booster, or 9k attacker also. His skill is when this on your turn, during my turn or during your turn, if you have 6 or more Dark Irregulars in Soul, this card gets plus 3000. So yeah, he's a 9k booster, and if you're comboing with Master of 5th Element and you have 10 Soul, he'll be a 12k booster. So it's pretty good. Pretty good. Next, I run probably one of my new favorite Soul Chargers. I forgot his name, but his effect is remove this card from Soul, and then you can Soul Charge 2. So basically, if you ride him first turn, next turn you can remove him from Soul, and then you can Soul Charge 2. So basically, you get an extra Soul to work with. Yeah, he's pretty good. It's really fun to use this effect, stack into another one, and then Soul Charge again. So yeah. Next I run 2 of this Succubus. It's also Soul Charge 1. You could replace this card with Doreen. Yeah, you can replace it with Doreen, but I feel like having her is, just in case you don't have that extra soul, or you need to Soul Charge more. This card does help. And then next I run 4 Perfect Guards. And trigger lineup I run 8 crit, 4 draw, and 4 heal. I run Hysterics Shirley because she also helps you Soul Charge, so just in case you don't have enough soul, you can use her skill. I don't really have much problem with getting to 10 soul because this deck, it does fare pretty well in hitting 10 soul, especially if you break ride over break ride, since they do help you increase soul, since when you attack you do Soul Charge. Yeah. Main problem with this deck is when your opponent, if you can't really build up enough rear guards, your break ride won't be as effective as it should be, or if your opponent locks your rear guards, you have more limited options in hitting at high numbers. So that's one of the main problems. But other than that, if you play smart, this deck is very powerful. In my opinion, it does a better job than Sephiroth, obviously, and Celestial Angels. Celestial Angels, I don't know. Celestial Angels is a good deck, but this deck just seems more fun to play with, and the break ride also helps you increase the rear guard's power. So I feel like it's kind of better at putting high numbers, giving your opponent a harder time to guard. But of course, Celestial Angels is kind of more consistent because They have trophy attackers and stuff, so yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Yeah, this card is very fun to play, and he's very, very cool. He's a pretty cool looking guy. I like the brick ride too. Like, I don't know why people don't like to play Dark Irregulars, but I think the artwork's pretty cool. Yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Yeah, there's really not much else to say. One of the really fun things I like to do is, you know, once you hit 10 soul, you're probably gonna break ride into Master of Fifth Element, because then you can use his skill and combo with that. I'll just show you an example of what has happened before. So that, and that, and that. You mainly want to use this guy as your booster because he is a very good booster. But if you, in events that you can't, it's still fine. So something like this happened, and then I have like, let's just say I have 10 soul, which I did. So my field looks something like this, and so basically I broke ride, and so you choose 3 of your rear guards to give power to. Normally you choose this side, and then this side, and then probably like this side, and then like this rear guard. You don't want to give it to this rear guard because your opponent's probably going to perfect guard it anyway. So there's no point in making this card into a 19. So if you make this into 21 and then this card into 19, they hit for 40 already. So yeah, you can see why this is pretty ridiculous. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, let's just say I have 10 soul. So yeah, this card will get plus 10k because you break ride and choose him. This card will also get 10k because you probably want to choose this. So right now, this column swings for did I say 40? Yes, I think I said 40. Yeah. So it's 21, and this is 19, so 40. 40, and then they also get the extra power from Master of Fifth Element. So they will be, this column will be 46, and then this column will be break ride. So he's 20 plus 12. So this card will be 25 because I think it also adds to himself. So he'll be 20. This column will be 25, which is already a pretty decent number. And then this column will be 19. So this column will be 29. So basically, my opponent had like 4 perfect guards, and he had to use all 3 on my thing because he on my rear guards. And then next turn he lost because he didn't have any cards left to use. And then next turn, even if I didn't have the brick ride skill, this would still be 26, and then this will still be 19, which is not that, well, not 19, to 22, which is also, you know, pretty good. So anyway, you guys probably understand, get it by now. Yeah, this deck is pretty good, and it's really fun to play, and it's actually really consistent. The one problem I had was I kept soul charging my grade 3s, which is, you know, why I run 4 of each, because it's not fun when you don't have any grade 3s to break right into. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. This is Cardfight, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!